Okay, so on number 1, the first step into solving these absolute value inequalities is to break them up. So you're just going to bring down the one inequality exactly as you see it. So it'll be x is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, and then very similar to when we solve absolute value equations, we still have x, but we have negative 4 because of the absolute value. But then you also flip the sign over. So instead of x is greater than, this one's going to be less than or equal to. Okay, when I go to graph, I have a circle on negative 4 and 4, and it's closed. Its x value is greater than 4. X values less than negative 4. Remember, when it says greater than, you're going to have an or where they go opposite directions. And now we need to use interval notation. So we have arrows on this, correct? So we have infinity signs. So we go left to right, negative infinity, with the parenthesis, and then I get to negative 4, so negative 4 with a bracket. And then I get to 4 with a bracket, and then positive infinity with a parenthesis. I'm always looking at the graph left to right. If I get to an arrow, I know that's infinity. Okay, number 2. X is less than, so now I know my graph's going to go towards. Just bring down exactly as you see it, and then on the other one, make it a negative 7. And what else? Flip the sign. Very good. So now the alligator eats the x. Okay. So I have 7 and negative 7 on my graph. They're both open circles. Its x values less than 7 and greater than negative 7, so I know it's in between here. So no arrows, so no infinity signs. Both open circles, so I have parentheses, I have negative 7 and positive 7. Order does matter on your interval here. Smaller number goes first. Okay, let's do number 3. You have x minus 1 is greater than 6. Bring that down. And then you have x minus 1 again, and negative 6 this time. And then I flip the sign around, so it goes that way. And now you have to solve. Get into multiple steps here. So add 1. So x is greater than 7. X is less than negative 5. So I have open circles on 7 and negative 5. Its x value is greater than 7, so that would go this direction. And x value is less than negative 5, so that goes that direction. When I do my interval notation now, negative infinity, open circle, so I'm using a parenthesis on the negative 5, and then 7, Okay, turn your notes over. Let's look at number 7. Now, what's different about number 7 compared to all the other ones we've done is that the absolute value is not by itself yet. There's this -1 out there. So this is just like solving when there was an equal sign. You have to get the absolute value by itself first. So the first step in number 7 is to add 1 to each side. Before you break it up into two inequalities, you got to get the absolute value by itself. So add 1.
Do you guys have any socks?
We don't.
That's okay.
All right, thanks. Now that the absolute value is by itself, now I break it up into 2. So x plus 3 is less than 6, just as it's written. And then x plus 3 is greater than -6. Flip the sign, change it to a negative. Subtract 3 from each side. So x is less than 3, x is greater than -9. So we have 3 and -9, open circles. And this one goes in between, right? So interval notation with parentheses, -9 and 3. Okay, now number 8 really quick. What would you have to do there to get that by itself? The absolute value. What do you have to get rid of? And so how do you get rid of 2 times that? Divide, yep, so you'd have to divide by 2. So you'd have the absolute value of 2x plus 8 greater than or equal to 6. And now I could split it up into two inequalities, so I'd have 2x plus 8 greater than or equal to 6. And 2x plus 8 is less than or equal to -6. And then I would solve. Okay, let's jump down and do one more. Let's do number 12. Now, just as to point something out, what would I do if I divided by -9 here? What would I have to do to my sign? You have to flip the sign around, okay? So make sure that rule still applies. Okay, jump down to number 12. Let's do this one. First thing we do here is subtract 6 from each side. Yes, I meant 5. Okay, divide each side by 2. Okay, so 4x minus 4 is less than or equal to 8. 4x minus 4 is greater than or equal to -8. Okay, and then I would solve from there. Yeah, so it's 2 steps here before you can break it into inequalities. And then you do your normal solving from there.